Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Just wait, I'll change my in some time. One thing I want to just tell you that is my Wi-Fi modem is causing some problem. So if suppose there is some issue in between, kindly don't leave the meeting. It will take me hardly 30 seconds to switch to my cellular network. Okay. So I'll let you know whenever that happens. Okay. So, firstly, I want to take a feedback. Of course, I was getting a lot of responses in Google Forms. Students, all of you have to submit your assignments in the required links provided. Why? The reason I'll tell you that is in WhatsApp, actually, what happens is we keep on getting so many random answers. We keep on getting random responses. Okay, and because you people, many of you have joined the computer science group using the link, hence I don't have your numbers saved on my mobile. So this what happens is you send me the PDF file, but then it becomes very difficult to figure out who which is which. Okay, so that is the reason why I have created this platform, so that you can upload it there and I have a record of all the students with their names, class and section, right? So that would help me in giving the marks also. So please, those who have not yet created your projects, sorry, those who have not yet created your, just a second. Sorry for the disturbance. Yes, so if there is any problem, like firstly, I want to tell you all that you should all submit your assignments before on or before 25th September. Okay, so firstly, you will have two practical files, one which I gave you 2 days ago. Sorry, I think I've given you only one practical file, right? One more I'll be giving you, which it would be helping you for your data handling chapter. So see these
Ma'am, you
practical
have given.
questions I've given. Did I give data handling? Yes,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
gave it 2 days ago. Okay, yes, I gave it 2 days ago. So please do that. And one more thing is, it will not be a loss at all for you. Why? Because those programming questions, they refer to the chapter data handling, and it will be a revision of your chapter also. Okay, so the more you practice programming, it's just like practicing mathematics. Okay, so the more you practice programming, the more your concepts will be clear, right? And the practical book, please complete that also. And see, the practical book will help you a lot with your theoretical concepts. Okay, the concepts which you are learning in your textbook, because lots of thoughts questions you will find over there. So all your concepts will be clear, right? So please solve the practical book also. So we will start with today's class. Are you people watching the offline videos which I send you, the offline lectures? Please do watch them also. Okay. The offline lectures are also very helpful. There also I have these days I am just sending you out all the conceptual questions, thoughts questions, programming questions, so that you get an idea of how to work on the programs, right? So today we are going to begin with variable internals. Now, this chapter you have almost already covered everything discussed in this chapter in the previous chapters. We are only going to take up certain topics and just look into certain things which were not discussed in the previous chapters. Now, variable internals, there are three things which refer to variables. One is the value which is stored. Second is the memory address where it is stored, right? And that is referred by ID. And the third is the data type. Okay. No, there is a the separate link which I will be giving for assignment 2. Right now, if you have completed assignment 1, if you have already uploaded that, then it's fine. Okay. But if the second assignment, first you start doing it, then today I will send the link. So there are three things for variables: value, address, and type. If I write a equals 5, so somewhere in the memory, at some memory address, you will be having this value 5, and a will be pointing to this value 5. So when I talk about value, it is what? It is 5. When I talk about address, address would be something like this. So we will be making use of the Python idle today. So one second, let me just shrink the screen. So if I write a equals 5 and if I write id 5, id a, so you will see that we get a very large number. This number is the memory address. This is the memory address of the variable a. Okay, not the address of, this is just a label, right? It is the address of this value. So I'm going to place this over here. It is the address of this value which is represented in the memory. So a is pointing to this memory address. So id will be this value, and the type. What is the type? Right now you can see that the type of a is what? Integer. But there is a function type with which you can find out what is the data type. So you can see something like class int over here. Class int. Right. So when I say class int, int is, of course, we know it as a data type, but in Python, everything is stored in the form of classes and objects. Right. What is classes and objects? It's a discussion for a later time. Okay. Right now in this chapter, you need not understand. It refers to a real world perception of things. A real world perception of things. So you can see that everything what you see around you, that is a part of the real world. Okay. So you see anything that becomes an object and it has some properties and some methods, that refers to classes. So there would be some certain behavior for integer type data. That is, they will contain zero, they will contain positive values, they will contain negative values, they are whole numbers, and they don't consist of decimals or fractions. Okay. So you can see that these integers, integer is what? It is a class to which all the integer type variables belong to. So whenever you want to check the data type of any variable, you will get this class keyword over there. So suppose I create another variable which is of type float, and I type here type b. What do you get? Float. If I write c equals, what should you get over here? Can anyone tell me?
Class str string.
Yes, class str. That is, you will get string, right? So any data. Now I am taking this as none, and I write here type d. You get none type. You write e equals false. False without any quotes. Okay. What should be the data type? It will be bool. That is boolean. Clear? So these are the variable internal. So you want to check the address of a variable, use id function. You want to check the data type of a variable, use the type function. You want to print the value, simply type a or write print a, you will get the value of the variable. Next we come to operators. Now operators we had studied operators in great detail in the previous chapter, if you remember. So today we are only going to just take a run through of all that. Operators are mainly divided into two categories, unary and binary operators. So when we talk about unary operators, we have unary plus, unary minus, then the negation operator. You have already seen that, right? Binary operators are again divided into many subcategories. There are arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, there are identity operators, membership operators, bitwise operators. So all these operators, they come under binary operators. So we have some very, now you are already familiar with the binary operator plus multiplication, okay, and minus. These three are easy. But we come to a category of operators which involve division. One is the slash, one is the double slash, one is the percentage sign. So today, kindly sit with your notebooks in front of you because you will be doing most of the calculations yourself. So we have the first one, write it down. This is the simple division operator. Second one is a floor division operator. And the third one is the modulus or remainder operator. Division operator, it returns the quotient in float. That is whatever result division operator gives us, that is the quotient. Quotient is what? When you divide a dividend with the divisor, you get the answer in the form of quotient. Okay. So quotient is what? It will be always returned in the form of float. If you want to check it for yourself, we will see it over here. I write here, wait a sec, divided by 2. What do you get? 2.0. Although both are integers, but the result of division operator will always be a floating point value. In the previous versions of Python, if you divide an integer with an integer, you would get an integer as the result. But in Python 3, in the latest version of Python, this specification has been changed. When you divide two values, you will always get the result in float. Let's take some examples over here. I have 100 divided by 10. What should you get as the answer? 10. You will be
10.0.
writing it at 10.0. Next is 7 divided by 2.5. What should you get? Calculate and tell me quickly. So we take it like this, 7, we take 2.5, right? It will take some time.
2.8.
2.8, yes, very good. So how did we get that 2.8? Let us discuss. Okay, so 2.5 is there. So I'm just going to multiply this 2.5 by 2. I should get 5.0. So 2, 5.0, I get 2.0 over here. I will, because there is a point here, I will insert a point and I will insert a 0 over here. And then what could I get? I have, let me take it as 8, 4, 20.0. And this is how I'll be getting the answer. That is 2.8. Next is, I'm giving you 2-3 questions. Do them and tell me. Yes, come on, tell me, students. What about this one?
$3.125.
3.125. Exactly. We will check it over here. I'm taking this as 100 divided by 32 and you get the answer 3.125. Very good. Next one.
9.0.
9.0. Yes,
9.0.
9.0. It's see 9.0 is also a correct way of saying or speaking out the zero. Okay. Sometimes we also say 9.0. That is not wrong. Okay. 9.0 or 9.0 both are correct. So this is the answer. Even if the answer was an integer, you will always be getting it in the form of float. Next, we come to floor division. Now, floor division also returns the quotient, that too in float, but without digits after decimal. That is, all the digits after the decimal point are truncated. So if you have 3.125, if you write this 100 floor division 32, you will get the answer as 3.0. Okay, let us take some more examples of this. I take 7 divided by 3, I get 2.333335. Okay, if I write 7 floor division 3, I will get the answer as 2. Understood that? If I write 6.5 divided by 2, I should get 3.25. If I write 6.2 floor division 2, I will get 3.0. Now in floor division, you can understand one thing. Both 7 and 3 are what? Integers. So the result you are getting in integer only. Why? Because already floor division operator removes anything from the decimal part. So here it works just like the previous versions of Python. That is, if integer and integer is there, if you are doing the calculation on two integer values, then the result will also be given in integer. That is only in case of floor division operator, not division operator. Okay. So this is how floor division operator works. It will not return the digits after the decimal point. So please remember this. Next is modulus or remainder operator. Now the same thing, if I have 4 divided by 2, what should I get? 2.0. But if I write 4 modulus 2, I will get 0. Why? Because modulus or remainder operator, it returns the remainder. Okay. And that too, the remainder is returned in what? In float. Right? And how we are going to see it? Now, suppose I have, okay, I'm going to rub everything. Okay, we'll take a question here. I wrote 4 modulus 2, right? That is, if I divide 4 by 2, I will get what? 0. So 0 is my remainder, 2 is the quotient. So this operator will return what? It will return the remainder, that is 0. I'm giving you one more question. 7.2 modulus 3. If I write here 7.2 and I write 3 over here, what do I get over here?
0.
1.2. Not 0,
2.2.
dear. Remainder. Not 2.2. The remainder I have to check. This is my remainder. Got it? So the remainder is 1.2. If you check it over here, 7.2 modulus 3, you get what? 1.2. And you can see internally it is represented, any floating point number, internally it is represented as a very long number, okay, with many places after the decimal point. How many places are there after the decimal point? Let's count. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 places after the decimal point. Okay, so this is how internally any floating point number is maintained. But because it is many zeros over here, hence we will consider this as only 1.2. Next question is 6% 2.5. Let's do this division now. We can write 6 as 6.0. Divide it and tell me what should you get.
1.
Yes, the answer is 1. So it will be 1.0. So we will do this over here and see. 6 modulus 2.5. So you get 1.0 or 1. Is this clear to everyone? Division operator, floor division operator, and modulus operator. So now I have a question for everyone. You all will be doing this and we will discuss the answer. So I'm writing the question. Please write it in your copies, everyone. Do this question, everyone. You have to do, you can see from here, the first one is simple division. Second is floor division. Third is multiplication. Again floor division, remainder. A divided by 4. So A is what? 9.2 divided by 4. What should you get? You get
2.3.
2.3. Very good. Very good. Next one. A floor division 4. This same thing will become 2.0. Next is, this is not B into C. I will make the correction here. What does this operator stand for?
Exponent.
Very good. B, it should be B raised to the power C. What answer should I get?
16.0.
Very good. You get 16.0. Next one, D floor division B.
10.0.
Yes, very good. So you get 10.0. And the last one,
1.9.
are you sure it is 1.9?
1.199.
1.19.
1.199, right? Something like this, if you are getting, you can round it to 1.2. It is also correct. Okay. So this is how you might get questions from this chapter. You will get some values, some variables would be assigned some values, and you will have to print the value of the expression which has been given. So all these which you can see, they are arithmetic expressions. Clear? Okay. So now I'm giving you a small program. I cannot type pi over here, so I have written PIS, pi. Very simple question. Do it in your copy and tell me. We will do it in the form of a Python program. So I'll be going to file, new file. First of all, save it. I'll do it once you people complete it. One question, if I write something like what will this give me?
2.
Very good, because this represents what? Half. That is 4 raised to the power half, which is equal to square root of 4. Similarly, if I write something like within brackets, I'm writing, then it should be what? Cube root of 4. Very good. Completed this? Yes, very good. We are going to see one more thing today. I'm importing a module named math. So look over here. Firstly, I'm taking R as radius. I'll not take eval, I'll take float, because anybody user can enter the radius in integer also and float also. If the user enters the value in integer, it will be automatically be converted into float. That is, if 5 is entered, it will be converted to 5.0. Enter the radius of circle. The prompt should be descriptive enough. Okay. Now I can write circumference C equals 2 into math.pi into R. Your math module, Python consists of many modules, okay, which contain some inbuilt functions. So math module, it provides you all the functions necessary for doing math operation, like sqrt, that is square root, log functions. Okay, if you want to find out the sine, cos, tan of a number, right? You want to find out you want to perform the same raised to the power operation. Okay, so you can use the pow function for this. So math module provides you all the mathematical functions, and it also provides you one of the constants, that is pi. So you can, or if you just print this, you will see what it gives you. Print math.py. So we will see the answer. We'll check it over here in the Python shell. Firstly, I have to import math. Now I am typing math.py. So this is the value which it gives, right? So I can also use that value, and I will write here print circumference of circle is. Ankit Rajput, you want to do something?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll deny this then.
Yes.
Okay, so now we will run the program, and suppose I enter 5.5. So the circumference is this, right? If I enter 6, circumference is this. Right now, students, I will tell you later how you can reduce the number of places after the decimal point. Okay, so I'll tell this to you a little later. Right now, you just concentrate on this. Yes, Yash Vadoria, what is it? Is it by mistake? Fine. I'm giving you all one more question.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I have to ask one doubt.
Wait, first let me write the question.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Please do it, everyone. Yes, yes. Now you ask your doubt.
Uh, ma'am, in the previous second question, ma'am, when I have written, print A double, that is floor division 4, and I have written comma and also written print B double
You send me
multiplied
the
by C.
code. This way I'm not able to understand. You send me the code, the screenshot in the chat.
मैं उसका आंसर भेज देता हूँ आपको.
Orijit Nandi, what is it? Orijit, you
Yes,
raised
ma'am.
your hand.
Ma'am,
You wanted to
that
ask
was
something?
by mistake. That was by mistake.
Okay, okay. Yes, everybody, you will be doing this question now and sending me the screenshot quickly. All those who are using mobile, you can use the PyDroid app. I'm just typing it here. PyDroid app for Android. Just search it. I've sent it to you. Okay, so you have given me this. Print A. What is the value of A? First of all, you need to have a value of A. Yes. The code which you send me, you are writing the first statement you are writing is print A floor division 4, right? What is the value of A?
Ma'am, we have given 9.2 comma.
The one which I gave you, that one?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, that I have written above.
So did you write these two statements together on one single line?
No, ma'am.
What is it actually you are trying to ask? I'm not getting.
मैम हियर मैम उसने टू आंसर दिया, फिर इन डॉट ओ दिया, इसका फिर ब्रैकेट में नन नन दिया, तो मैं ऐसा क्यों दिया?
ऐसा क्योंकि आपने बीच में एक कॉमा लगाया बेटा, जो कि नहीं चलता है. See, it first gave you the answer. Print A, it gave you the answer. Print B, it gave you the answer. But the thing is, you have written a comma in between, right? That is the reason why it is giving you none, none as a tuple. Okay, because two values taken. Print function is, see, when you are writing it like this, I will tell you what exactly is happening here. What is it? 1 second. And print B. Firstly, print function is going to work on the individual expressions. So for that, you are getting the answer. One is 2.0 and the other is what? 16.0. So this you got over here, right? Why? Because I don't have any end equals space over there. After print, normally I told you that in a print statement, you have an end argument. If you provide space or any other character over there, so whatever print statement is after this, it would be printed on the same line as the previous one. अगर यहाँ पे A है, यहाँ पे B है, so A and B would be printed like this. Line won't change after printing A because end you have changed to space. By default, it is what? /r/n, that is carriage return and new line character. Understood? So firstly, it gave you the value that is 2.2 for this one. Change the line. Then printed 16.2 for b raised to the power c, and it also again changed the line. And now because you have written these two values separated by a comma, so whenever you are writing anything separated by a comma, you have something known as a tuple. Okay, so it is considering these two values to be a tuple, and it is also going to consider the value returned by print. Functions are small subprograms which return or which may or may not return some value. Print is one such inbuilt function which does not return any value. Because it does not return any valid value, it will return what? None. And this print will also return none. And that none would be written in the form of a tuple. First value of the tuple is also none. Second value is also none. अंडरस्टूड दिस? अगर आप बीच में कॉमा लगाओगे तो वो इस पूरी चीज को एक टपल मानेगा. इंडिविजुअल कैलकुलेशन उसने कर लिया. ओके, आफ्टर दैट इट सीज दैट ओके बीच में कॉमा है, मतलब मुझे इन दोनों का क्या बनाना है? टपल बनाना है. बट टपल किस पे बनाएगा? वो जो वैल्यू प्रिंट फंक्शन रिटर्न करेगा. प्रिंट फंक्शन कोई भी वैल्यू रिटर्न नहीं करता है. अंडरस्टूड? सो दैट इज व्हाई it is going to return what? None. You already know that none is what? It is the absence of any valid value in the memory. So that is why you are getting two none values which are separated by a comma, and this thing is in the form of a tuple. Is it clear, Yash Bhadoria?
Yes, ma'am.
So kindly you can do one thing, avoid writing statements in this way. Okay, avoid writing. When you are writing print statements, you write print statements on separate lines. You cannot write them on the same line. Clear? Okay, many of you have sent me the answer for the question. Very good. Vedant, sorry, not Vedant. Vaibhav Shukla is there? Vaibhav Shukla? Raise your hand, please. I can see you over here. Vaibhav Shukla, you have the time to put a like on someone's answer, but you don't have the time to raise your hand here. I want an answer from you either through chat or through your mic. Vaibhav Shukla, 11C. Vaibhav Shukla, I want an answer from you. Are you there? You are there, I know that much. What are you trying to express by putting a like? Everybody can see this, right? Yash Bhadoria sent me this question and he is putting a like over here. When I immediately took my pointer there, I could see Vaibhav Shukla here. What is the meaning of this? I want to know this much. Are you there, Vaibhav Shukla? Doesn't matter if you don't answer the question which I'm asking you here, you will get a call from me after 11 a.m. Do you want that? Okay, I'll see. After the class, you are getting a call from me. Fine. If you are not answering the question which I am asking here, you are getting a call from me after the class. If you can't answer on the public platform, just answer me through WhatsApp also. Don't attend my classes if you have to do all such kind of things. Last year also you used to do all these things. You never used to pay attention in class and you used to do all such kind of nonsense. Nonsense करना है तो बाहर जाओ मीटिंग रूम से. Fine. So we'll just discuss this question. So we have already discussed the circle question and now we are going to discuss the next question. Many of you have sent me the correct answers. So I'm just going to send the answers. Write the program for those people who have not done anything. Okay. So rectangle, area, perimeter. First thing is length. So I'll take float int, enter the length. Okay. Area equals length into breadth. Simple. Perimeter equals, now it was given 2L plus B, so you have to insert an asterisk over here, L plus B. Print area of rectangle. The statement should be descriptive as possible. Perimeter of rectangle. The perimeter. Save this, run the program. Length I'm entering 4 and breadth is 3 and you'll get area of rectangle as 12.0, perimeter of rectangle as 14.0. Every time you run the program, you will get some answer. Is this clear to everybody? Okay, one question to all of you. The question is, Name the relational operators. Name the relational operators. What are the relational operators? Yes, Divya Jyoti.
Greater than, less than, equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and not equal to.
Okay. When I say equal to, what sign should I use?
Equal sign.
Equal sign is this. Is this equal to?
No.
Ma'am,
Yes.
double
Yes.
equal to.
Double equals. I want somebody to tell me the difference between this equal and this equal. What is the difference between the two? Wait, I will tell you. First, raise your hands. Those who know the answer, just raise your hands. Okay, Utkarsh Bajpai. Tell me the answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Give me the answer for this one. What is the difference between these two operators?
Ma'am, in first one, the value will be assigned to the operator on the left hand side.
This is, yes, this is the assignment operator. And what about this operator? This is the equality operator. When I write something like A equals 10, I'm using which operator? Assignment operator. It means this 10 value will be assigned to A, that is, this will take place in the memory like this. Okay, and if I write A equals 10, it means I'm checking whether left hand side is equal to right hand side or not, because I've already assigned 10 to A, so this value will be 10. Equals 10, what answer should I get? True. So this is the assignment operator, this is the equality operator. In the next class, we will study a few more concepts, that is some simple string operations, not sting operation, okay? There is a difference, string operations and some logical operations and some expressions, how we can write mathematical expressions, okay? So thank you everyone. Quickly, I'll take the attendance. Can leave the meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.